Hi everybody, welcome back to our Let's Play. I am OverHugs, and this is episode 3. We have a minor announcement to make in that as part of trying to figure out what our identity is going to be and what we're going to do on this series, I've picked a name. And because of what we want to do and the fact that we want to go through and help people as well as educate and have a little fun, I figured the perfect name for this would be Building Bread. Bread's one of the first things you can make in Minecraft when you've gathered wheat, and it's appropriate because I donate all the profits from this to local food banks. So, welcome to episode 3 of Building Bread. So we've had a couple of changes since we were last together, and I wanted to walk you through some of them. So you see a lot more beehives here than what we had before. Whenever you grow either a birch tree or an oak tree within 1 block of a flower, as is over there, you have a 5% chance of getting a hive. And hives generate like this with bees. It can be 2 or 3 that generate by default. And what happens, basically, the reason why we did this is because you see this bee who's zipping around the flower, and now he has pollen over his little bee butt. And whenever they go over, as you saw right there, those green little stars are basically the equivalent of bone mealing. So we get some free generation of crops just because the bee flies over with pollen, since bees are pollinators. So that's what we did with this. What we also did was we have basically gone through and harvested and replanted our sugarcane a number of times, so that now we have quite a bit of it, and it stretches all the way along the shore of this little pond here. This is more than enough for what we need right now. Also, what we did was we harvested our farm here with our cows quite a few times, so we have almost 2 stacks of leather and over 2 stacks of beef. This isn't the most interesting thing to do on camera, so I just did it off camera in order to save folks from having to watch me do the same thing over and over again. So today what we're going to do is a 2-part in our show. Episode 3 is going to be about enchanting and experience, because they go hand in hand. So enchanting in Minecraft is basically the ability to apply things to your weapons and armor to make them more effective. There's a number of enchants that we'll go through, but to start with, you need to build an enchanting table, and you need to get a certain amount of XP. If you look down at the bottom there, right above our action bar, you can see we currently have 28.5 levels. That's what 28 means in between the hearts and the hunger icons. And max level to get an enchant is 30. You need 30 levels to get the most powerful enchants, and in order to do that, you have to craft an enchanting table, and you have to surround it with bookcases. What are bookcases made out of? Well, that's convenient that they're made out of paper and leather. So let's go over here and let's take our 2 stacks of leather, and we'll take several stacks of our paper, or our sugarcane, and we will turn the sugarcane into paper. At the crafting table, you just do 3 in a row. And so we will make our paper, and then what this will do when we try it out and it shows us we have new recipes unlocked, this will let us make books. And we will need quite a few books, so we'll go ahead and make 64 of the books using a full stack of our leather. Now, in addition to this, what you need is wood. And once we have our wood, what we can do is craft it. So I'm going to go and get some wood rather quickly and be right back. So we're at the end of one of the branches in our branch mine, and as we come out here, we discovered a natural ravine. You can see that this goes way up, which is what makes it a ravine over a cave. And we have quite a bit of lava here, including some lava that has already been turned to obsidian by this water source. So what we're going to do is we're going to mine some of this up. And as you can see, obsidian takes a tremendous amount of time to mine, the longest in the game for stone type blocks that you can get in the world. And we need a few pieces of this. We'll grab some of this since it takes quite a bit of time, and we can meet back at the surface. Alright, now we've gotten our obsidian, and we've come back to our little farmhouse here, and we're going to craft an enchanting table. An enchanting table is a pretty expensive early game enchant. You can see it requires 4 obsidian, 2 diamonds, and a book. And it is worth it, quite frankly. So now that we've done this, we'll put the enchanting table up in our little attic area here to give it some more, I don't know, flavor. And you need to surround your enchanting table with bookcases. And these need to be 1 block away. And what you see is if I click on this and I put a tool in, it'll start powering up. Right now we have a level 11 enchant. And if I add a few more bookcases here, we are now at a level 30 enchant, which is maximum. So this is basically what it requires. And you get enchants like Sharpness, which has your sword do more damage. Or you can get ones like Efficiency, which makes your pickaxe mine faster. And basically what happens is tools and weapons will have different enchants, but all tools will have the same thing. So if I had an iron axe, it's Efficiency 4. If I put in the pickaxe, it's still Efficiency 4. If I take off a piece of my armor and go to put this in here, then this is Unbreaking. So it's a completely different enchant. Some enchants are shared across tools and armor. For example, Unbreaking is something that can be applied to almost every item that can be enchanted within the game. And the levels that we were looking at there are the levels that you need from down here in order to have enough experience in order to enchant it. This number here is how many levels it will take. So this will take 3 levels away from us, but we need to have at least 30 levels of experience in order to get the enchant. Efficiency is pretty good, and these higher level enchants also will often come with additional enchants that you get for free, but you don't know what they are. It is entirely possible that you only get the 1, so don't count on them, but it's not uncommon. So basically what we're going to need to do is find ourselves another level and about 20%. So let's see how we're going to do that. Alright, we've gone out and grinded a bit, killing mobs, and gotten ourselves to level 30. So now what we can do is we can take one of our pickaxes and put it here and see that it is still Efficiency 4. It hasn't changed because we haven't enchanted anything yet. But what we also need, and we've been gathering, is lapis. And lapis is a mineable block. It's the blue, not diamond block that you see, and it tends to drop quite a bit per ore. So let's see what we get for our first enchant. And we get the advancement of Enchanter, and we get, unfortunately, just Efficiency 4. That is too bad, but it's not tremendously unexpected. The good thing is now this will show us like how much better we can now mine with this tool as opposed to what it was before, especially since we have a enchanted and an unenchanted pickaxe. So let me just go down here, and you can see in the side of the wall here, it takes a little bit, it's not that much, but when we switch to the efficiency pickaxe, much faster. So like the 1, 2, 3 to 1, 2, 3. So it's about twice as fast. Alright, and we're back, and eagle-eyed viewers may notice that I have considerably less experience than I did a moment ago. This is because we had one single spot in our house here that was not lit up. And when I went in to go to sleep, I got ambushed by a creeper. Remember death from above? Well, death from above. So we're going to have a slight change of plans due to that. And you will notice that when I went through, I collected a bunch of extra obsidian. And the reason for this is because we're going to create our first portal to the Nether today. And the Nether is one of the other dimensions in Minecraft. There is the overworld, which is this world that we're in right now. There is the Nether, which is basically a realm filled with lava and death, aka not a pleasant place to visit. And then there is the End. And the End is somewhere that we will get in another episode. But for right now, we're going to build ourselves a Nether portal. And the way that you do that is by laying down obsidian in a pattern where you have... You don't need to use obsidian for the corners, but you do need to use it for the whole rest of the portal. And so we construct a portal with this basic shape, and then what we need to do is light a fire in it. And in order to do that, we need to create something that will make a fire, and we're going to make a flint and steel. So we have a flint, we have a piece of iron, And that is all you need to make a flint and steel. Now we'll go over and we will light our portal, and you will notice it goes all purple and swirly. And we're going to drop off the things that we don't need in some chests. Actually, what we'll do is let's just make a chest and put it right by the portal. And you're teleporting to a new dimension that you have not been in before and is not fully loaded. And sometimes things can go wrong. So just in case, we're gonna walk in naked. Just in our wonderful suit. And then we're gonna come directly back. So let's see what happens here. And this is the Nether. We look like we're in a fairly safe section, so we're going to go right back. And there are some piglins, which is one of the mobs that's within the Nether right next to us. Piglins are something new in 1.16. And basically the way that it works is they are aggressive mobs unless you are wearing gold. So what we're going to go and do is go and make ourselves some gold boots. We've collected enough gold to where this shouldn't be much of a task. Let's see, how much do we have? Plenty. 51. We have plenty. So if you are wearing gold, then the piglins will accept you and leave you alone because gold is something they love. So we'll put on our gold booties, and let's go back through the portal and see what's in the immediate area. Because in order to make the farm that we want to later of the zombie spawner that we found in a previous episode, we're going to need something that is called soul sand. And alright, so we spawn here, and this is, I believe, another waste is what the biome is. Yeah, if you look over here, you can see biome nether wastes. And the nether wastes are basically it's netherrack, which is this red stuff. Oh, wow. That was a really bad spot for our portal to generate in. You see that lava flow came down and just enveloped our portal. And that's fine. So what we'll do is we'll mine some of this netherrack in order to protect our portal. And we'll just dig it out so that we're not trying to play with lava when we need to go back. Wow, that's never happened to me before. That's fairly hilarious. Alright, now we're okay. Now our portal is nice and safe and isolated. So let's go through our nether wastes. And there's a couple of reasons why we came through here. First of all, we want to gather up this resource here, which is nether crystal. And this is an ingredient of some of the automation components, the redstone automation, that we need. So we're going to gather up some of this. We don't need much. This patch here will probably be enough. But you'll also notice that this is a great source of experience. It's one of the best in the game. So we'll gather some of that up. And another thing to note about these piglins is that you can do what's called bartering with them. This is the reason why I brought all our gold. Because if I come over here and I toss a piece of gold at this piglin, he's going to pick it up. Like, you can hear how excited he got. He's going to pick it up, and then he's going to trade with me and throw me an item. And we got enchanted soul seed boots, which is actually fantastic. Soul speed boots will make us run faster on soul sand or soul soil, which is, soul sand is the item that we're looking for and why we're here. Wow, we're just getting great things. And that was crying obsidian, which is, again, another new block in 1.16. So we'll do a couple more of these trades. We get nether bricks, which are fine. It's a good building block. We'll do like maybe 4 or 5 more of these trades. And you see these come in full size and baby variants. And the babies will steal the gold, so we want to make sure that we don't throw it to them. One of the other things that we want while we're here are ender pearls, because ender pearls are what we need in order to both craft an ender chest which is a fantastic item that we want to get as soon as we can. Oh, he stole our gold. The little guy stole our gold there. You can see him looking at it, and he won't trade it. But an ender chest is basically a pocket dimension. Anywhere, anything that you put in it will be available in every ender chest. So if I open up one ender chest and I put stuff in, and I have another one back at the base, anything that I put in it in the world will be in the ender chest that's also back at the base. So these are really handy to have items where you can have it wherever you are, like so you always have it with you. And also, it's a good way to put things in if you're going to die for some reason. Alright, I think we just got perfect soul sand. This is one of the things that we needed. So I'm going to keep trading until we get some ender pearls. And then that will be a success. And we will have accomplished what we came here to do. I'm going to keep trading. Are we going to go through the whole stack here? Still none. Wow. We're getting everything that they trade except for ender pearls. Oh, finally. Alright, we finally got 6 there, but I'd like some more. Because they're difficult to get in the overworld. You have to kill an enderman, which is not easy. And they're, the drop rates are not very good. But we are running out of gold. There we go. There's some more. Alright, 13. That is good. Alright, so mission accomplished. We got most of what we wanted. I'm going to pick up some more of this nether quartz. It's nether quartz, actually, not nether crystal. And then we're going to head back, because we now have all the items that we need. Alright, so now we'll go back through our portal with our nether mission a success. Alright, and now we're here at our zombie spawner, and we're going to make use of the mechanics that this has in order to build an experience farm using it. So this, anytime that we're within 16 blocks, as we mentioned, it will continuously summon zombies as long as there aren't too many in the area. And so to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to clear away the entire area from here down into this in order to encourage zombies to spawn as much as possible. And we're going to create basically some water that will sweep them to a central location where we can take them to a killing chamber where they will all be dropped in one block in front of us, and we can just sit here with our sword going whack, 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 where we'll just continue to get more and more experience while they keep generating, as well as the rare items that zombies drop, such as carrots and potatoes, so that we can farm those. So we'll be able to kill the zombies as they're brought to us over and over again, just going whack, whack, whack. And this is a fairly simple design, so I'll walk through it after we're done. And I think this will be best represented through a time lapse. So away we go. So one of the things I wanted to talk about before we moved any further is how you move mobs with water. There's a couple of different ways. This is the default way, where you have a water source, which will travel 8 blocks before it stops flowing. And then we have other water sources that are guiding to this central point. And now we have this column of water, which doesn't really do much. Things sink down in it. But if you remember, we went to the Nether to go get soul sand. And one of the things that soul sand does that's a really neat effect is whenever it's in water, it creates bubbles. It creates a bubble column. But it only does so through water source blocks. If you take a look at this, we'll see water falling true, which means these are not source blocks. We basically went up through here placing buckets, and there's one source block at the top. But we can use kelp, which is currently in our hand, to create these and make them all source blocks. So what we're going to do here is jump in, take this kelp, and bring it all the way up to the top here, and create source blocks. So now, if we go back down, we can break them. And now when I take a look at it, you will see, under debug, it's water falling false all the way up. So now that these are all source blocks, we can drop a piece of soul sand down in the bottom there, and this will turn it into a bubble column. Now you see there's bubbles going all the way through it. So basically what's going to happen is the zombies here are going to spawn. The water is going to carry them down here. The water is going to carry them down here. And then as more spawn, they're going to get pushed into this area right here. And when they do, they are going to rocket up to the top, be pushed over by this bubble column. And I think we can survive that, but let's be a little paranoid here. Oh, well, let's be brave. Yep, just barely. So we know that this is a good distance for the zombies to fall, because they're down and they would be down to almost nothing. So, and as you can see here, when they fall down, there's a small enough gap where they can't get out. So let's quickly knock our way out of here and then repair this. And I think we're just about done. Alright, so now, if we've done things right by all the noises, we should start having zombies in our little section here. And you can hear they're falling through. So we can just sit here and whack these with our sword, and you notice they die in one hit, or two in the case of the armored ones, and we have ourselves a zombie experience farm. Alright, so we fine-tuned this a little bit, and I think I'm happy with it, although I'm going to detail it a bit more, because I think we could use some additional lighting and not quite have as much torch spam as you're seeing around here. But basically the thought I had was we're discovering something that was an ancient ruin. So we come in through the cave here, and you start to see various bricks and everything that's clearly not quite natural. Then come down here and you start seeing more and more, and come into this main room, which I went through and created. And the intent of this room is to come down and have the actual zombies be the central focus of things. And as you can see, they've been coming through for a while. Looking at this chest, which I just went over and whacked the zombies every couple of minutes as I was detailing and creating this room, we've gotten a decent amount of loot from it, including potato and a carrot, and an iron ingot, as well as a couple of pieces of enchanted gear. So that's actually really nice. So let's see how this basically works. Over here with the spawner, the zombies will come. They come down, they zip up a bubble vader that we showed earlier, and then they fall down 22 blocks, which puts them down to one hit. So you can come over here, and this is about the safe spot, and then just start swinging. And all we have to do is hit their feet, and we'll go through and we'll kill them. And you see we're collecting a decent amount of experience from this. Like, they come in fairly quickly. I put a little trapdoor over here so that we can peek in and see what's going on hidden, so you don't see it when you first walk in. But if we open these up, we can see the zombies, and they're being carried down through the water down into a very short hallway before they zip up in the bubble vader. And as we can see, they'll just continue to spawn. You can see that little zombie guy in there going around and around and around. I apologize if YouTube compression doesn't show this well, but here we have another zombie who immediately falls into the water, immediately gets swept in, and is gone. So that's the basics of how this works. And we can close this up and get it back to total darkness. And as we come back and walk over here, they're caught right now, but that's okay. They'll push each other as more and more come through. It ends up being about the same amount anyhow. But you see we've got 33 levels, which is quite an improvement over where we were when we cut out last. And so we can just keep here and keep swiping every couple of seconds. And if you wanted to, you could easily AFK overnight at something like this with an auto-clicker, just swiping every second or two, and you'd probably come back to about 50 levels. as well as stuff in here. Like, again, we've gotten more stuff, and some of this we'll actually probably use. If you look, +2 armor with chainmail and unbreaking 2, it's about the same as our iron gear. So without any other enchants, this is going to work out well, and unbreaking will cause it to last a lot longer. So basically the rule of thumb I generally use is I don't want more than like 3 blocks that are the same next to each other. There's going to be some exceptions, like in here you'll see it, but it's basically the 70-30 rule. You want to be able to break up the eye whenever you look at things when you're detailing, and you want it to be so that it implies that there's more than there is. If you have too much consistency, you end up where it just looks like it's one texture across the entirety of the wall, and that never looks good. And I break these up using bricks and cracked bricks, and then some of the mossy cobblestone we found, regular cobblestone, bricks, polished granite, like a whole variety of stone, but it's all stone that I found here. So the intent of it is to look like people came and just built with what they could find, and constructed this little, I don't know, almost temple-y area as it goes in. The other things that we have in here that we haven't talked about before is this is a grindstone. So, for example, what we can do is if we find something, I want to keep that, that's actually quite nice. Okay, this shovel is basically just going to shatter anyway, so I'll sacrifice it and use it as an example. What this will do is if you take something that's enchanted and put it in here, it will strip the enchant, and you will get the experience back from it. So we'll go ahead and do it now. It won't be much, because they're relatively low-level enchants. But you see, we got it back, and the nice thing is that as we start to get armor in here, when we're here, because this will be our early game XP farm until we get a little bit further in the game, we'll be able to take the enchants that we have here, strip them off, and get a little bit more experience over time. The other reason why I put the furnaces here is because this is a chance to get a little bit of gold as well. So if we empty this out and we put the boots in here, which have no enchants and they're worse than the iron, we already made a pair to go into the nether for the piglins, we can wait for a second and we will get a nugget out of this. So that's not a ton, but it does give us more than we would have had otherwise, and until we build a gold farm, it will be a source that will come in. There's also an ingot here because zombies will rarely drop an iron ingot, so every little bit helps. So that's largely it. And I wanted to thank you for watching. Again, it's always appreciated that you've come and chosen to spend your time here. And I have been OverHugs, and this has been Building Bread. Just a reminder, if you could take a minute and like, subscribe, and tell a friend, I would greatly appreciate it. All of the profits that I make off of this go to local food banks, because it's always nice to help your fellow humans. So, I hope you have a great day, and I hope to see you next time.